Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trader Minute, and it's great to have you aboard. I'm Carl. Thanks for tuning in. It is a blizzard outside here today. The chat room was open a little bit late. Sorry about that, as I was fighting the blizzards to get here. But all is up and well. Not a lot going on out there as far as any type of economic report. There's really nothing today, nothing really to speak of. The futures are down. Looking at the futures here, down 6 right now on the S&P. And there's reasons they're saying out there. There's the fear of tapering. We are in Utah. WT, thank you. There's fear of tapering. There's also fear of the jobs number coming out on Friday. So a little bit of that. Really the move looks more technical than anything. John and I were talking about this morning, and we're thinking it looks more like a technical move than anything really going on, because there's lots of, whenever you hear it could be this, it could be that, and there's really nothing out there. It's more technical in nature for the most part. So Apple's in the news, and Apple, they're up pre-market. Let me bring a little chart of Apple in here for you. So Apple got upgraded by UBS. Then also I found this little article on Apple, and let me show it to you. If I can get it going. Here we go. Rumors, well, they're saying the China mobile deal is signed, sealed, and delivered. But you read into this, it's not quite that signed, sealed, delivered. It says that there's a web page from China mobile subsidiary Suzhou shows pre-orders being taken on Apple's iPhone 5s and iPhone 5C. This web page was since taken down. Okay, so it's been taken down before word got out. Now check this out. This is a huge thing. With 740 million, did I say that right? 740 million, yeah, that's a lot of people. China Mobile is seen as a huge win for Apple. Yeah, that's a pretty big win. That's probably double the population of the United States. That would be seen as a huge win. That's pretty good writing there. So they say signed, deal, delivered here to get your eye, but really the details are still not exactly there yet. So, but that's what's going on with Apple, and this webpage loves to throw those things out. Okay, so other things going on out there. Tesla, a German investigation into the fires. They had some over there in Germany. They cleared the company of any type of fault. Not only that, Tesla was called top pick by Morgan Stanley, and they reiterated an overweight with a price target of 153. All right, so Tesla's starting to get some good news now. The fires here in the United States are still under investigation, so we'll see how that goes here. But so unless anything happens, don't look to play Tesla short anytime soon, because if they start to get some good news here, the company could start to take off again. It's got a lot. Let me just bring that up here. It's sold off quite a bit, all the way from 190 down here to 120. If it starts to get good news, you could see this thing turn and start to run the other direction. It popped up above the 7 a couple days ago, still above it, but that's the news out there on Tesla. Okay, Micron, MU, they were started by Needham Company at a buy. Now, typically when a company is started, it's not necessarily going to do a lot for it, but that's got picked up by another one of the big agencies out there. So Pfizer PFE was removed from a buy list over at and downgraded over there at Goldman Sachs. That's a pretty big one. They were on one of the conviction buy lists over there at Goldman's, got taken off and replaced by ABVV. And not a good thing for Pfizer to have that come out from Goldman's on it. And Disney was downgraded today to a neutral by a lesser known firm, B. Riley. And so I'm not sure how that's going to affect Disney with it's one of the lesser known companies. A lot of times the lesser knowns don't do a lot. The market's set to gap down again slightly, about 5 this morning. Remember last night, right there at the close, the market sold off. It was fairly flat all day long, and then the last little bit sold off just about 5 points. And today there's a little bit of follow through on that. Okay. FRX, and I bring FRX up because Forest Laboratories, because someone was asking about that in the room the other day. They got upgraded to a buy over there at SunTrust Robinson. So that stock's getting a little bit of good news. Excuse me. Okay, and another stock that was brought up yesterday. I'm not sure if the members were actually in these stocks or not, but AKS. They were upgraded to neutral. And I kind of chuckle at those. They're upgraded to neutral. I mean, they must have been a lower rating, but not the best upgrade. But it was upgraded by Bank of America. All right, so so there's the bell. We're off and running now. Let's just run over really fast. I just want to look and see what this market's doing. Initially, it's off the lows of the pre-market here, down about 5 right now. Okay, let's compare that. Our positions, John Deere was set to gap down about a dime this morning. I want to see the market down about 3. So fair value is about 2. The market's down about 3. It's gapping just below the 7 today and just under 1800. That's one of those big psychological numbers. You could expect when the market hits 1700, it tried to get it through it over here in August, first part of August, last part of July. Didn't make it. Second time, got through it. Still didn't make it after the retest here of 1700. Third time it got through it. So now we're back up in 1800. It's unless we're in a runaway freight train mode, but I would expect a little bit of consolidation up here, maybe a little bit of a pullback. And we'll see if we can't get some of those bearish follow through that we were talking about yesterday. The top 3, there was had a couple in there on the downside of things. Okay, so let's look through our positions. John Deere down about 40 cents, so a gap lower than where we're looking at. I'm definitely going to want to keep my eyes on this first thing this morning here. We'll pop out. Not first thing in the morning. The spreads are going to be quite wide on the options, but we'll pop out of this. We're going to let the market go for at least a half an hour and then look at probably exiting this if it's not showing any signs of coming back for us. And then Marathon. Now, Marathon wasn't given much of an indication this morning. It had about a dollar spread in the bid and the ask. It's down about 18 cents is all right now, which initially not much for Marathon. Pretty down. Now let's go check we're going to go to Apple real quick here. Here's Tesla on the news out of Germany, and they got an upgrade. They're up this morning about $8. That's about 6.5%. Morning Vegas. And so yeah, with the upgrade and the news out of Germany, this is set to look good. Now it's not anything to run out and buy. Typically you don't want to run out and buy something because it got upgraded, or it doesn't mean it's going to immediately reverse. I'd like to see a higher high, a higher low come in here somewhere before getting into something like that. And then Apple. Up $9.50 right now. It's just under 2%. They got upgraded. There was a website from one of China Mobile's subsidiaries over there. Started to pre-order Apple's iPhones. I laugh because those articles, they get your attention, but you look into the details, it's still kind of iffy. Pfizer this morning, they was removed from the buy list over there at Goldman Sachs, and down 24 cents. That nothing right now. We'll see how the day plays out for Pfizer, but after a downgrade like that from Goldman's, You'd think there'd be a little bit more follow through in this top of the stock. Excuse me for a sec. All right, thank you. Let's go take a look at yesterday's top three. Right, we had Verizon up 7 cents. Now it looks like it opened flat and has gone up 7 cents. This one, if I look at the trend rider here, that's what we're looking at. Really early in the day, this is really technically there's nothing here to worry about. Up very tiny compared to what it's come down recently. And then IBM down just 3 cents, same thing. Technically there's nothing here yet. And then WellPoint and WellPoint gapping down on us this morning. That's interesting. Nice uptrend, gap down. I'll have to check into the news on this. Nothing there. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, WellPoint gapping against about $1.77. That's about 2% right now. I'll dig into that and see if there's any kind of news out there. Typically that would be associated with some kind of news to see that down like that. Yeah, John's bringing up FDX here. Look at that chart. Nice chart here. Still above the 7. Looking likely to push through the 140 mark, which would be a very positive signal to see this thing push up through that level today and close near the highs. If it gets a run here, it closes back below the 7 today, then just watch this throughout the day. We'll keep our eyes here on that. Simon Property Group down about 75 cents, gapping lower this morning. And this was Lulu, right? And we looked at this yesterday as one of the top 3 runners-ups. Let me bring the chart in here. This was one of the runner-up. It's up, what, 23 cents. This would be a trend rider bull signal. I'd like to go higher. And the higher end retail stores, the ones that have been doing the best so far this year. All right, so things looking all right there with Lulu. And another one we looked at yesterday for the top 3 was Yum Brands. And this is gapping quite a bit lower today as well. Yeah, good question. I have to look into Yum. The WellPoint and Yum both gapping down pretty big. I have to look into it and see what happened here. Yeah, that's an ugly gap. Down 3%. I have to check into the news on that and see what happened down here. Amazon down about $5 right now, just over 1%. A drone crash. I saw some videos on those drones yesterday. It's pretty amazing what they can do. Probably burst into flames too, right, Joe? Okay, thanks, John. With earnings on Yum. All right. Yeah, you guys are making me laugh. Yeah, someone got out their BB gun and shot him. Okay. GMCR. So with the market down, this is one of those ones that had a huge run down. You got a higher high and a higher low set in here, and today it's early on, it's looking to push higher, which is pretty positive for a stock that's had that big of a downtrend. Watch it. We don't do a lot of trading right on the open. We'll do some in the mornings, most about the last hour of the day. This would be one of those I'd watch and wait in the last hour of the day. If it still looks positive, you get a good strong bounce here coming up off the 7-day average in there. Let me zoom in on that. Then that's what you're looking at. You can see today how the 7's right down here, a little blue line there, and it's pushing up off it. It'd be a pretty strong signal to see that, but early on, right like it is right now, I wouldn't do anything early on. The S&P down 4. All right, let's look at our positions. MRO down 27 right now, and then DE down 62. This is the concern right here is DE. So we're going to let this play out just a little bit longer. It doesn't show anything. We're going to exit this trade. All right. Let's go check some of the other big dog out there. Google gapping down about $5. That's a 0.5% on a Google. Gapping down below the 7. Gapping down below the 7. Not pretty here for Google. It might come down to that 1040 mark. I know in Google it could hit it today, but it's too early to call at this point on a stock like Google. Baidu, initially they're down $1. A little gravestone doji there, but just 10 minutes into the open right now. Not. We'll see where that ends up today. It's still above the 7 there, but with the market rolling over, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. KRE, it gapped below the 7. Now it's come up a couple cents, and but I know I believe some of the people our members were in this, or I got a lot of questions on it yesterday. Right now it's no indication, right? It gapped down and it's run up slightly since then. No indication. It'd be a strong move to see this run back up through the 7 today. It would be a very strong move on it. Okay, but initially right now it's just too early to call. With Lowe's, looked at this one yesterday, how it pushed back off the 7, gap down. There's a lot of these gaps, pretty big gaps this morning out there in the market. Tells me there was a lot of people out, a lot of the big boys out pre-market selling a lot of these areas. Home Depot down as well this morning, down about 50 cents. Didn't have quite the nice chart that Lowe did yesterday, and Lowe's has a little bit better move on it, but still both of them down today. All right, let's run back over to Verizon. Just up 3. It's still in that lower band. So early on, nothing here. With IBM down 31 cents. Same thing. Technically, it's off to a good start of the day, but not much there. Facebook, nothing. 26 cents down, just right there on the 20-day average. That 20-day average is just a middle Bollinger Band. The dotted line there is a 20-day average. Let's look at the TLT. This is bonds. Just flat this morning. Run through some of the banks. Goldman Sachs. There you go. Goldman Sachs is up. Bank of America. Gap down and has run higher here. It's up a cent. If you look at Wells Fargo, so the banks have all gapped down, but they're running higher right now. JP Morgan up. So here's Citi down 15 cents. But you notice it's turning and has run higher. It's off the low of this morning. All right, let's check the VIX out. Gapping up by about 42 cents. Still in the upper Bollinger Band there. Technically looking at this, it's pretty bullish, which would be bearish for the stock market. Capital One, looked at this a couple days ago. I think last Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, one of the runner-ups. Went higher initially, but today's running back through the upper Bollinger Band. There is all. Okay, AKS. Remember, AKS was upgraded to a neutral from Bank of America. They're running into the upper Bollinger Band. Close here would trigger a trend rider bull signal on it. Bands are a little bit wide, but it would still be a pretty positive move to see this finish higher today. With Honeywell, a gap lower, one of the stocks that we've seen quite a bit of this morning, of these gaps like that. Gap and lower down to the 20-day average, down about 0.75% right now. Okay, back to the market really fast. Down still about 4.5. MRO, it's off the lows. It's down just 17 cents right now. With Deere, down 61 cents. Okay, so I'm going to pop off here. I'm going to watch Deere here for a few more minutes. Let these options settle down. And if it doesn't look like it's going to do anything, we're going to go ahead and pull this off. So I'll be available through chat. John's going to be with us for a bit this morning as well through chat. And Jeff will be checking in on and off throughout the day. And yeah, John's always great throwing in some good information for us there. So I'll pop off right here, end this video, and we'll be back on here if we're looking to exit Deere. If it doesn't go anywhere here and it doesn't show any signs of life here this morning, we're going to exit because this would be dropping back into that channel. Okay. That we've talked about, the channel that's been going on since about July. Okay, so thanks for your time this morning. We'll talk to you in a few. Thanks. Bye-bye.